Good day, Bravehearts. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening all around the world. It's getting close to that time, right? Well, guess what? I just want to say this to everyone that if I don't have another chance or you're not on here, happy holidays. And remember what a holiday is all about. Stay connected to your breath. Walk around with a slight smile because you don't need anybody to tell a joke or tell you how wonderful life is because you're just too grateful and you feel it all the time. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. That's what I do. I practice gratefulness, okay? And I actually even practice being grateful for things I don't have yet. And then I tell the great creator of everything that if you don't bring me this, bring something better because you're better than Santa Claus, okay? All right, so just leaving that with you. And today I'm with Richard. Richard is an amazing human being. He has actually brought a product that nobody else has done. And that is called Hemp Oil C60. Whether you believe this or not, do your own homework. Most people's endocannabinoid systems have been knocked out. Do you know what that means? That means that they can't get themselves into a not a peristaltic, but a parasympathetic state anymore. They're in a sympathetic state, which is not sympathetic. It's actually in fight, fright, and flight. 3 years of COVID has knocked out the endocannabinoid system, okay? And over 90% of the population, and that's not me saying it, that's actually a stat. And your endocannabinoid system is what looks after a lot of the dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. That's what we call the dose. Do you get your dose every day? A lot of people have been actually programmed to be addicted to adrenaline and cortisol, but mainly adrenaline. Anybody that says that I have weak adrenals or my adrenals are flat or something like that, that is called a terrorist, an unconscious, subconscious terrorist. They've been terrorizing themselves because they tell the same trauma stories that they've had all their life. And they think that, I don't know what they think. They think that what? Being a victim is going to get them anywhere? No. They're unconscious of the fact. You know what? Whatever you repeat, okay, gets stronger. And whatever you feed gets bigger. So you better watch out what you're feeding because someday it's going to eat you up. And the reality is, like I said, over 90% of the population, their endocannabinoid system is gone. And understand what? Well, I'll tell you what. C60 hemp oil, okay? And we buy the best hemp oil in the world. Richard will talk about it. But our C60 hemp oil is the finest C60 in the world. Okay, you'll sleep better at night. You'll calm down. What else does it do? Well, it helps to return your eyesight. It's only the strongest free radical neutralizer in the human body, and there's nothing better on the planet. Nothing neutralizes free radicals more. It's 270 times stronger in vitamin C. It can actually brain damage. It will actually not maybe fix the brain damage because it doesn't need to. It creates new pathways on top and around the damage, okay, that can even be better than what was damaged. Do you understand? Oh yeah, you can be better than before. If you want a front end load, hemp oil C60 like I do, and I sip on it. I sip on hemp oil C60 throughout the day. I put it in a bottle and I just sip on it. I put it under my tongue and I let it sit there until it becomes water, okay, because it emulsifies and then it gets absorbed right into me. You have to understand what hemp oil C60 is. It's actually graphene. Oh my God, no, not graphene. Yeah. Graphene is carbon. So, oh no, can't do graphene, can't do carbon. Well, guess what? Then you can't do you. We are carbon beings. And understand, you know that thing they call the bee? Well, that's graphene. But you know what they did? They put a program into it, okay, that will undermine people. Now, what Richard did was put a program into graphene, and we're talking about trillions of volts, the highest electricity on this planet. That's why China's cutting back and saying, you can't make C60 here anymore, and if you do, we will penalize you. They say that if you make C60, we will penalize you because, guess what? Because it eats up too much power. So that's why they do it in Russia. That's why they do it in the Ukraine. Because that's where you can do it because it's cheap enough. Now, thank God that in China, it costs too much to make C60 because the C60 that comes out of there is only 98% of all the C60 that's in North America. I hope you know that. And it's actually toxic. Yeah, go figure. Go figure. So now, at least with the electricity coming so high, now they can't generate as much C60. So guess what? We won't flood the market with a toxic product. You don't have to believe me, but I'm going to let Richard explain it more. But understand this. How would you like to have more peace of mind? How would you like to sleep better? How would you like to feel better? I got this happy feeling on me. And guess what? I can see better. I can think better. And I can't believe it. But the pain in my knee left. The pain in my toe left. You have to understand, 270 times stronger than vitamin C. And whether you believe this or not, you'll find it in PubMed that actually C60 will actually go in and neutralize the negative graphene, which is from this. That's right. We have not hundreds, probably thousands of people that are doing this to detoxify from this. Understand, a lot of doctors will say that if you've had one, it's not fun. If you've had two, you've just screwed yourself over. If you had three, you're in big trouble. If you have four, you're out the door. But understand, if you want a front end load and you want to do C60, you want to do black diamond, you want to do black gold, you want to do curcumin cayenne 5000, you can diffuse the bomb. But understand, the C60 is the foundation. All right, we have hemp oil C60, we have MCT oil C60. But I will tell you right now, the hemp oil tastes like a little bit nutty. And the hemp oil is really good for vaginal infusion. The hemp oil is really good because it's a little bit thicker, okay? So you can use that for eczema and psoriasis, and there's so many things you can do. Just, you know what? Guys, this is the first time I'm ever going to do this. I'm going to bring on Richard in 2 minutes. Here it is. See this? This is called the Ultimate Healing Guide, The Perfect Day. I want you to listen to this. It's really important. It's not a sales pitch. That's 40 years of my work. 40 years. I have, in the last 15 years, when you get a consult, you get the PDF of this manual. So whether you believe it or not, this is a big change. Have you ever had a dream? You wake up and you go, it was so real. And whether it was a little bird that told you, or whether, people have all kinds of stories. God talked to me, or my higher self talked to me. But actually, this happens to me all the time. I wake up around 2:30, 3:30 in the morning. 3 days ago, so we made the change really quick. 3 days ago, the most peaceful voice told me, give it away. So understand something. You're going to find out when I give it away. I gave you, okay, a gift of wealth, health. And you can give it to anybody you want. 3 days ago. So what we did was, by the end of the day today, which is December the 14th, I hope it is, we will have a page made called PDG. That's P is in perfect, D is in day, G is in guide. Now that's pdgfree.com. Anybody that goes to that website, or if you put your email on here, you may not want to, but if you do, I'll take it off. I'll give it to my guys. I promise you that this new guide, okay, it's 535 pages. It is a graphic artist masterpiece. You'll be able to put it on your coffee table. If you've ever wanted your family to get involved in health, wait till they read the first chapter, okay? I lay out what's really going on in the world, and here's the rules of fools. And then we go, okay, let's close that chapter. And from there on in, the rest of the book, I unleash everything that I possibly found around the world from people that are smarter than me, everything from internal to external to emotional to physical to nutritional to diet to relationships. My God, you get it all. You get it all. The 12 loving steps, you get everything. Oh my God, if I've got this pain, that means that this emotion, I'm out of alignment here. Okay, so, and if you don't believe me, you'll look in here and go, oh my God, he does have a knee problem, and he does have that belief system. Oh my God. So the invisible creates the physical. The psychological rules the biological. Oh my God. Dr. Wolf is a quack, but I think I'm getting to like him just a little bit. And understand something. That's my first gift to you. And then in the first quarter of the new year, I will give you the most powerful health app that we've been working on for 2 years. Cost me $175,000. I still owe $56,000 on it. Thank you very much. And we'll get it paid off. And then that is 95% of that app is all free to you. And you already have my library, which is the biggest self-help, self-love library in the world. I mean, how much can I give you to get you to believe that you are beautiful, you should be blessed, and we should be serving each other and not attacking each other, because we're brothers and sisters from the same creator source God. So look, check it out if you want my PDF. And if you decide you love it and you go, oh my God, he wasn't lying or BSing us. This book was built to help us. And it will be the most powerful health book you've ever read. Remember, it was free. Okay, and then if you really like it, we'll charge you $75 and we will ship it anywhere in North America. And that's free. The book and that. And guess what we got? We got a $6 profit on this thing. That's what's left over. Go ahead. Go and see how much it's going to cost to print an all-colored, high-gloss, bounded book this big, 530 pages. Go check it out. You couldn't do it. You can't do it for that price. It'll cost you double, all right? And it could, in other places, it'll cost you up to triple. So the reality is I'm not trying to tell you that I'm a nice guy or a good guy, okay? I'm trying to tell you that everybody should come from abundance. Everybody should find their passion and purpose. And everybody should be finding that passion and purpose and gifting the world, because I've never felt better with giving what I love. That's it, okay? And now we're going to talk about Hemp Oil C60. And I'm going to tell you that you're going to love that too. So remember, yes, it is graphene. Yes, it has the highest electrical charge on the planet of any molecule. It's called the miracle molecule. Yes, graphene is also in the vaccine. Yes, but they put in a code and information and other things in there to take down the nation. Yes, okay, the neutralizer, okay, of that, because guess what? Here's the negative, here's the positive. It goes in and grabs that sucker and says, you're coming with me. Don't believe me? Go to PubMed and find out for yourself. Hey, Richard, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Daryl.
So what'd you think of that open? What do you think of that opening?
I thought it was great. I'm really excited about the free PDG file.
Oh, people are you're gonna love it, everyone. My first chapter, Richard, when they read the first chapter, I swear to God, their mouth is gonna drop. Okay? Their mouth will drop when they read the first chapter, because I think it's really important to understand that we live in a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure planet Earth, and then we take a look at the psycho-tyrants and what they've been doing and what they're going to continue to do and get away with doing, and then we go, okay, that's what they're doing. Now I'm going to tell you, let's shut the chapter on that sucker, and here is what you're going to do. Mind your own business, and you are going to live the life that you deserved as soon as you ignore them. Hey, what happened when a baby has a tantrum and everybody ignores it? It stops because they don't have anybody to entertain. They don't have anybody that they can hold hostage. What do you think, Richard?
Yeah. No, that's true. You just ignore a baby and the baby stops crying, and my God, no one's coming to it. But if you go to the baby, it realizes that every time it cries, it gets coddled, it gets food.
Well, with psycho-tyrants, we give them our money, we give them our energy, we give them our life, because they give us the fear. Instead of their crying, they just give us all this false evidence appearing real called fear and what we're going to do to you. There is no authority over anybody here. And I'm going to tell you, I've been talking like this for 40 years, and understand something. I'm still here. I have been attacked by my own government 3 times where they've tried to say that I'm just like the worst thing that was ever created. And the reality is they're not after me. They're after the low-hanging fruit. Do you not notice the people that watch TV or the people that get the VBV? Did you not notice that people that watch TV, okay, they eat only food-like products? Do you not notice that the majority of the population is on their way out? I would never do one thing that the majority of the population does. Not one thing. So understand, guys, they're coming for the people that won't, okay, love, honor, and respect themselves. Because guess what? They come after me. Look at all the energy they got to spend. Look at how hard it's going to be to try to get me. They want to go after people that are going to go, okay, all right. What do you think, Richard?
Yeah. Well, 2 things. I think it's amazing that you're giving away 40 years of your life for free. And that goes against everything that the people that try to go after you are saying. You're not really in for it for the money. You're giving your life away. And the secrets to becoming healthy.
All of them.
Products,
all of them.
That people could use, but just knowledge. Knowledge is free.
Yes.
You're giving away knowledge that you've learned over 40 years.
I would like anybody out there that's been a practitioner for 40 or 50 years, after they've read this book, that it didn't knock their socks off. Okay? All right? You know, the one thing about me is that I go over the top with everything. Everything. I'm not scared to tell the truth. And if everybody out there was willing to tell the truth, but come from their heart, don't come from anger. It's either the power of love or the love of power. If you come from the love of power, you're going to hurt yourself and people. What do you think, Richard?
Yes, I agree. Come from love and everything is fine. The one thing I wanted to mention as well is I agree with what you said about those that watch TV were the people that got the V. People that don't watch TV, I don't know a single person that doesn't watch TV that has thrown them out that did get the V, which is an interesting stat.
So there you go.
Friends of ours, I'm talking about at least a dozen, none of them got the V. And it wasn't just because I was preaching not to get it, but it was because they don't watch TV.
How about this one? They channeled in on these people and programmed them. What is TV? You turn the channel and you watch a program.
Yeah, the program, yeah. It's a programming device. And like you said as well, those who watch TV narrow in on certain parts of a grocery store. They don't go to the outside of a grocery store because that's where the apples, the oranges, the fruits are being sold. And how do you advertise an apple? How do you advertise a coconut?
Well, if it hasn't been wrapped by a corporation, okay, it doesn't need. They'll never tell the nation. That's it.
Yeah, that's right. It's not wrapped in a package, so they can't say, well, this is a Nestle's product that's grown on a Nestle tree. So you can't advertise it. It has to be in the middle where it's put in a box, wrapped in plastic or something. So, it's sad. It's sad. But when it comes to hemp oil or Hemp C60, that's when it's important to know who you're getting it from. That's the difference.
Yes, sir.
Because you don't want Chinese C60 and have it written in Chinese or having the powder made from China. You have to know who's making something. When it comes to something like that, it's important to know who is making it, but more importantly, who's not making it.
Yeah, and just know this, everyone. I have Richard coming on because the C60 sale is over. I think it's Sunday night. I wish I'd keep up with my stuff. But we have it on sale. And the reason why we do, everybody, okay, is because people don't understand the power of Hemp C60. They're out there buying C60 safflower, C60 sunflower, C60 olive oil. Don't do it. Get the best of the best. Richard, do we buy the best hemp oil made? It comes out of Canada. It is actually the premium, isn't it?
Yes. There's nothing better in the world. There's only one company that makes it. That's made in I would say the best place in the world, which is British Columbia. It's made by a man that does nothing else. This
Right.
is the only thing that he grows. It's an older gentleman that's been growing it for 50 years. He's 73 years old, and his son and his wife help him. He can only grow so much of it, and I buy the majority of it.
Oh, guess what, everyone? You're not going to get stoned. You're going to become balanced in alignment with peace. That's what endocannabinoid systems do. But everybody's just burnt out because why? Stress from the 3 years of COVID and before. I mean, it wasn't that great before COVID. The majority of the population was going nutso anyways. And also blue light poisoning. How many people know that there are 10,000 teenagers being diagnosed with cataracts every day right now? And it's all blue light poisoning. LED lighting, the telephone, the iPad, the computer, the TV, okay? All right, going to a movie even. All of this, and guess what? I just want you to know something. You can go into my library. There's more master classes free than any other place on the planet. I'm serious. We don't charge for them at all. And what you're going to find in there is you're going to find blue light, 5G toxicity, and understand something. What brings back the brain from blue light poisoning and the eyesight faster than anything else? Does anybody know? C60. Hemp oil C60 and hemp oil MCT are the two things that bring back brain restoration and eyesight faster than anything else that is known. Okay? You'll see that if you do enough C60, and I'm talking about, I got rid of my glasses. I wore glasses since I was 13 years old. Okay, then I went to readers, and now I don't use any glasses. I don't use any readers, but I sip on my C60, and I do the bright eyes, fulvic drops in my eyes. But just know this: C60, all eye problems. Ready for this? There might be the odd one, 2 or 3%. All eye problems come from brain damage, and that's why there's more eye problems today, because there's brain damage, because we're only supposed to look at blue light at noon, not all day long. So understand this: your eyes don't see, your brain sees. The blue light comes in as a frequency and light, and it looks like your optic nerve is backwards to slow down so that your brain can make the images. You don't see, okay? Only your brain sees. Your brain makes the images from the frequency and the light. And guess what? They were told by scientists before they did it, do not use blue light on computers, phones, or on the lighting, because it all causes radiation to the brain. How many people know that? They could have taken and made frequencies on your phone, in your lights in your home, on your computer, on your TV, okay, on your iPad, on your phone, that had Tesla and scalar waves and lighting coming off, and they could have been healing us. Don't you get this, guys? It's not going to change. You have to change. You have to look at things differently. People aren't getting their nutrition anymore, are they, Richard? You can't shop at a grocery store and ever get your nutrition again. I don't care who you are, okay? You cannot get your proper nutrition. Does anybody know why I'm in Mexico and why I live here for 8 months of the year and 4 months in the United States now? Only 4 months. Do you know why? Because there's no GMOs. There's no pesticides. There's no glyphosate. There's no chemtrails. The reality is this: you can't eat healthy in the United States or Canada or almost anywhere through Europe anymore. But definitely North America, it's gone to hell in a basket, okay? Richard?
Well, thank you for making me feel bad here in Ontario. But it's true. It's true.
It's
I
true.
do know. I do my best. But I agree. When before this V and not being able to fly without having to take the V, so I was, basically here in a concentration camp. I used to go overseas and actually be able to taste real food. But it's a struggle, I try and get the food that I can eat from local butchers, and there's only so much we can do because of the stuff that they're spitting out in the skies. It goes down upon even all the vegetation. There's nothing that we can do, and even the water itself is poisonous.
No chemtrails in Mexico. There's no chemtrails in Mexico, Richard. And if I can say something else, everybody, guess what? Do you know why I'm telling you all this about not Mexico, but the C60? Because guess what? Does everybody understand something? That everything that you drink and everything that you eat, all of it leaves your body. The only thing that stays behind is the light and the frequency. And does anybody know that our C60 has the highest frequency of any molecule nutritional product on the planet? So, I need A, B, C, D, E vitamins. I really do. Actually, you don't. Actually, what you need is you need the frequency that those things have in your body. You actually don't keep any supplementation you take in your body. All the physical part of it leaves. It's just the electricity and the light that stays behind, which is the frequency. And that is true science. And if people could understand that, okay? So that's why we say that when you take things like C60 and you're just feeling so great, and somebody says, I got a deficiency in this, I got a deficiency in that, I've got a deficiency in this, or that, or this, or that. And then people take it and they have different deficiencies, but now they don't. And meanwhile, they didn't use that type of ingredient to try to bring them back to balance, because understand something. Everything is electrical energy. A person that is no longer alive physically has no energy. A person that is ill and in bed that can't get out has very little energy. Okay? A person that is healthy and vibrant, okay, depends on their energy level. It depends on how much ATP the mitochondria make. Well, that all depends on what kind of product they take in to neutralize the free radicals that are being caused by the environment externally and internally that they take in. Well, what if you were taking the world's strongest free radical neutralizer? Bingo. Richard?
Yes, I agree. The biggest deficiency that I see in people today is in common sense. They don't know what to eat, what to drink, and when it comes to supplements themselves, I see them popping down vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin B. Vitamin D might be the only one that I think is really, really required if they do not go outside and they live in a place like Canada. But if they eat the proper foods, which is really not going to happen in most people nowadays.
Richard, do you know how many people say, I'll let you come right back, but do you know how many people go, I've got a really good diet. I've got a great diet. And then we go through their diet, and guess what? They didn't lie. They have a great diet compared to the rest of the family that are totally poisoning themselves, but they don't have a good diet enough to actually slow down the progression of the rotting of the tissues and the organs and the rest of their body.
Right. Well, it's a sad thing, but we don't have the foods available like you have when you're down south.
Yeah. This is my second.
You can get all these vegetables and mix them up and actually drink them for a good price. It would cost us probably $400 per person per week just to get the vegetables themselves. It costs us $8 for a large cucumber.
70 pesos for this container of fresh carrot and beet juice that was actually juiced just across the bay right there this morning, fresh. 70 pesos. And 70 pesos is $3.50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, our dollars are turning into pesos here. A Canadian peso.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at, I like following gold, and gold, for example, is at an all-time high again today. It's in U.S. dollars, it hit 21.45, which is incredible. It's climbing close to $2,800 an ounce here in Canadian pesos.
You know what? It's going to go higher. It's going to go higher.
It could hit $3,000 before the end of the year. You never know.
How golden is that?
Canadian dollars. Yeah, it's a barometer of how the world is doing, how the dollar is doing. They're creating more dollars. Inflation is going through the roof. Inflation, people think of it more as a consumer price index, whereas it's really the amount of money that the governments are printing worldwide. That's what inflation really means. It doesn't mean the price of, a banana is going up by a certain amount. It's really the dollars that are being produced mainly by the United States and throwing into the economy. That's what inflation truly is by an economic definition. So that's why when we see our prices maintaining themselves and never having risen, we can say that we're really doing our job. But the food in the stores, everything else, the world really is falling apart. And when you say that, and I don't know the true meaning when you say that soon the world is going to fall apart. We all feel it in our bones.
Well, I don't say the world's not falling apart. I believe that the world is having to make these changes, and I really have faith that it's going to be a beautiful world. Understand something. I've had people threaten me, my own government threaten me, and 99% of the time it's all just threats. And just like these psycho tyrants, they go, well, we've got to threaten them that we demand all this, but we know we're only going to get 20% out of them. And then everybody falls for their fear tactics. They know they're not going to get everything they want, but the reality is if your family was, the same families have been in control for over 100,000 years, and then you get 100 to 150 psychos in a room that believes that this guy here isn't worth a turd on the ground and that they are the gods of this planet. After a few generations, they've lost total logic of anything because, honestly, I've done my homework on this, Richard, and I don't want to get into it, but the reality is I understand the game. And the reality is they're, with their God, they're allowed to say, we're going to poison you with this. We're going to kill you with this. And guess what? All they have to do is let you know they're going to do it. And they're off the hook if you buy into their stuff. If you fight their wars, if you drink their poison, if you eat their poison, if you believe their bullshit stories, well, that's entirely up to you. Their God goes, hey, you warned them. If they don't want to take heed, why do you think they use Hollywood to tell us everything they're going to do? And then everybody's going, oh my God, I saw that in a movie just a few years ago. And that's as far as people take it. Okay. And I don't believe the world's falling apart. I believe that things need to be pulled apart. We have to have a makeover. And that's what's happening. And in the end, the world will be a beautiful place, because guess what? And I don't mean to say this, Richard, and I don't want to keep going on about it, but just enough people have to perish out of everybody's families for people to say no more. I mean, this is the way it is. I mean, after a while, they're not scared anymore. They just said, bullshit, this is it. This is stopping now. Okay? And then they finally realized they shouldn't have been fighting with their neighbors. They shouldn't have been fighting with other countries and other people. And they shouldn't have bought into the bullshit stories that, if we don't attack this country, we're in trouble. I mean, anybody with a brain knows that there hasn't been a war created that we were in trouble. We're just doing it for these psychos. I don't care what anybody says. There's a story behind a story, behind a story, behind a story, behind a story. Okay? All of these countries want to be left alone, but guess what? When you think that you are the gods of this planet, then you lose yourself, and you believe that every human being here is for you, for the harvesting. Okay? All right. And that's the truth.
Yeah, that's a good take. I agree with most of that.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to agree with all of it because you'd be me.
That's true. Yeah. So you're basically saying that generations of bloodlines are running.
Absolutely. But that's a fact.
Yeah.
Why doesn't anybody do their homework and find out how far the Rothschilds go back, and find out that all of these other major families all broke off from the same family? Nobody ever does their homework.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, even the royal family is German.
Yeah. Anyways, we're way down the rabbit hole. We got to pull our heads back out and talk about hemp oil C60 so that people can drink that. And the big deal is that let's not look for world peace. Whoever said that? Let's look for inner peace. And I'm telling you right now, the hemp oil C60 will bring a calm and a peace over to you, not just neutralizing free radicals, not just coming and bringing up, it'll bring up a healing that you haven't seen before. I already know that. Do your homework. Look at third-party research. Go into PubMed. Go look at other articles, other science studies on C60, and then look up hemp oil, and then look up the best of what hemp oil does, and then take the two, hemp oil, and then take what real C60 is about, put it together, and then you'll understand that you've got the buckyball. You'll understand you've got the flower of life. You'll understand that C60, is a molecule that vibrates higher than any other molecule on the planet. So there's the science. Richard?
Yes, I agree. And once again, and to your earlier point, I finally went and did the research on the difference between the hemp and the weed, which is marijuana. And they're just different varieties of the cannabis sativa plant. And the difference would be is that the hemp oil is made from the cold pressing of the ripened seeds of the hemp plants, whereas the marijuana is obviously the leaves that has the THC. That's a psychoactive compound that gives you the high. And there's absolutely none of that THC.
I know. I have so many people that's saying, I'd love to try your product, but I don't want to get high. And I'm going, well, I'm going to disappoint you. You're not going to get high. You're just going to go back into harmony and balance with yourself. That's it.
Yeah. One of those Cheech and Chong. I can be Chong and you can be Cheech, and we can sit in the car and we can drink our oil, and we can get healthy, become healthier, and we can go, hey Cheech, and you can go, hey Chong, and listen to some funky music and get healthy, and maybe Lori can be in the back seat, and I'll have my Sarah back there, and they can be knitting away. My Sarah, she likes to do her knit. She likes to do some, it's called cool embroidery. I know
Beautiful.
that the people listening really love to listen to this.
Well, you know,
But no,
people that get stoned like to embroider, right? I'm kidding.
oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure they do. You know, that psychoactive compound, it really gets your hands moving quickly.
Yeah.
You're going off into another world to meet Khan, who's trapped on the planet from Kirk, who left him there. The Wrath of Khan, I remember that movie. But yes, for people that haven't tried the C60, look what it's done to me. It's turned me into, you know, an older guy, mid-70s, and I'm just a calm person now. And, you know, I was taking for so many years in the beginning. We're talking now 8 years ago. It was only made with olive oil. And that's what everyone made. They mixed it with olive oil, and, you know, I found a unique way of making it, but it did help me in such a manner that I don't get sick. I haven't been sick now, as in having a cold in perhaps 20 years. The only thing that I ever had now, and you hear it, is my throat now and then. You know, I have to drink coffee, and I didn't bring a coffee with me. And I know that's probably my only vice, that and cheesecake. But, you know, I guess I can live with that. So, yeah, to not get sick is absolutely wonderful. My hair went from being silver, we're talking pure silver, to now mostly brown. And that's incredible for someone in their 70s. As I was telling you earlier, and I'll tell the people that are listening now, my son, he did not. He's just starting to take it now because he's young. He's close to 40, but he's mostly bald. And, you know, I know that there's not much you can do about loss of hair if it, you know, it comes from the mother side. So, you know, I blame Sarah, my lovely wife, and say, look what you did to my son. And she says, well, it's my son, too. I said, okay, see, you take the blame. And, but he's a very good-looking man. There's a lot of men like Captain Picard from Star Trek. That's when I used to watch TV. He's a good-looking guy with a balder head. But I think that if he did put the hemp, the MCT on his head, that it would stimulate the hair, because it is shown that MCT does enable your hair to grow back. And
Okay.
I think I told you on one of the first shows that we ever did that when I did start making the coconut MCT oil, because you asked whether I could do it, so right away I did do it. Within about a month, I had a good product available, and I had age spot on my right wrist, and I started applying it there because it was sort of rough, and within a month, it was gone. Okay, and the side effect was that
Age spots are.
my wrist turned all hairy. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
I had one wrist normal where I have my watch. So I took it off to see if anything would change. But the wrist that had the age spot turned all hairy, like I was a monkey. I was a freaking monkey. I was afraid that I don't know. What's that? Michael Jackson would come back to life and, you know, want me to come over like he had that little monkey, you know, and hire me to be his monkey. But that's neither here nor there. But it's amazing, isn't it? You know, you can actually plug it on your body, and, you know, hopefully women don't get it on their chest and they get hairy chests and their husbands.
All it was doing was bringing the balance back, Richard. And everybody, the brown spots that you have on your body are actually mold. And the C60, it neutralizes free radicals, and the energy that's in it actually energizes the tissue cells, which knocks the mold out. Okay, they're not sunspots. They're not aging spots. They're mold. Just like, when you see, when you get brown spots on a banana, it's okay to get a few, but once it starts getting brown, it goes black. The reality is, you become an oldie moldy goldie unless you bring your vibration up, I've got like one age spot right here, just right here. It's a small one. There it is right there. See? Look, right there on my, that's it. That's all I got. So I know that if I were to put a little bit of C60 hemp oil and just a little bit of DMSO, that's going to go. But I really don't have time to play with this little spot right now. And the reality about the hair, Richard, just so you know, okay, is what we do is there's a device we have called the Navicin that will increase the microcirculation in the body by 66%. Nothing else does that. And you can use an Navicin, but what you also do is you clap your head for 20 minutes to a half an hour all around your head. And we have what's called a clapper, Richard. It's purple. And your son would clap his head every night. And then what he would do is rub, because now after he clapped, he's got all that circulation. Then he rubs the C60 in, and he really rubs it in. He really massages it in for about 5 to 10 minutes. And I'm telling you, his hair will come back. Those three things will, within 3 months to 4 months, we see 25% more hair growth. And then over 2 years, it'll come back. I'm serious. Whether long, especially if it's just thinning, it's easier because the longer something shuts down, the harder it is to wake it up. But I'm telling you the God's truth. That works, okay? So if your son wants to call me, I will give him the whole thing. And also what we do is we have what's called a natural bristle skin brush that's made out of cactus fiber. And then the hemp is the stick's made out of hemp. It's got a long handle. But the brush, you vibrate it on the head to take off the dead skin cells, okay? And so you clap first, vibrate with the skin brush, get off all the dead skin cells, and then you rub the C60 into your head, and you will see new hair growth. There's no two ways about it, okay?
Wow. I perhaps we could take photos of my son and use him as a test case. And when it comes to the clapping, if there's hitting involved, I'm sure that his wife would love to clap him, I'm telling you. So,
clap him upside the head.
She would, for half an hour of hitting him on the head, I tell you, she'd pay me to do that.
Yeah. Somebody's asking if I have a tick spot, and there's a spot there from the tick bite. I'm going to tell you something right now. Here's what you do. You clap it, and you clap that tick spot for 5 to 10 minutes. I'm serious. You clap it. I've got a clapper. You go look at my website. Go to store.docofdetox. They're inexpensive. A clapper is something you use, and it's so flexible, so you don't end up wearing out your shoulder or getting neck pain or stress. And because if you go into my DIY guide, I show you how to clap your whole body. And if you clap anywhere and you bruise, that's because your tissue's rotting. That's because your blood is dirty. It's got nothing to do with, the clapper bruised me. No, it brings everything to the surface. It's like a diagnostic tool. Clap the tick spot for about 5 minutes. Then you take just a little bit of our DMSO gel and you mix it with the Hemp C60 because it's a little thicker. You put that in a Band-Aid and you put it just on the area and have it you don't need much. It's only going to be right on the tick area. It's going to feel a little bit of burning or tingling, and put it there. And I guarantee you that you'll do that maybe just a few times. If it gets red, back off, and then just use the hemp oil C60 on it or MCT oil C60 and keep applying that. It won't be there. It eventually won't be there. And I'm telling you the truth. I've been doing this for years. I know this works. This stuff works, okay? When you take massive personal action and take your health into your own hands, and you've got strategies that are proven, there's no losing. Richard?
Yeah. Oh, I think the whole thing's amazing. To have my son get his hair back, I think I'm going to see him tomorrow. I think that he's uneasy about the whole situation. So, yeah.
Well, Richard, I've got 25%, 30% more hair than I had 5 years ago. Okay?
Really?
Yeah, I do. I do. I got a full head of hair. And I got to tell you, it works. So, it works with me. It works with everyone. And the reality is if he does it every night, so he's got to give himself about 20 minutes every night to do this. He does this 20 minutes every night. And the thing is that we get lazy. But if he does this for 3 months, he's going to go to your dad. It's working. And then you know what? And then over the next 9 months, you're going to see people are going to start wondering. They're going to go, what is going on with him? It's like anything else. You know what? When you put energy and care into yourself, expect miracles. That's all. It's called self-love. Self-love. So self-love yourself. Don't look for somebody to fix you because it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Well, this is all good stuff. Now, I know we should be concentrating on true health and not vanity, but, what can you do?
I don't think that's 1 second. I don't think that's vanity because guess what? All the hair on your body, if you do real research, you'll find out that they are antennae. And you know what? I walked into the room and all my hair stood on end and I knew I needed to leave. So that is just one example, but your hair are antennae. Everything about your body helps with some form of communication or body talk to allow you to understand your internal and external environment more. The human body is just an extension of the spirit. That's all. That's all it is.
Yeah, I've never thought of it like that, but yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did want to bring up the situation that we began talking about the Chinese C60 powder.
Sure.
Once again.
Sure.
I spoke with one person since then, and they verified what we began speaking about with the shutting down of the grids for the C60 producers. So, they're just selling lesser C60 variations. And they brought up C70, which was something that, I had heard about, but really never got into. And this is something that a few people actually sell in the United States. And it's a off-cursor to the C60, and they're selling it as C60, and it has some similar properties, but it really is a mutation. It is something that is not C60 itself, but is similar. It has some similar properties. Some people experiment instead of taking C60, but taking C70. And it's not a healthy product, my God. And if people are going to start, you used the word cutting like as in drugs the last time we spoke about it, to mix the C70 with C60, people are going to have problems. I'm not trying to raise alarm because I have no proof that it's being done, but if there's a potential out there for people to start having C60 cut with C70 in the product, people might not be in a good situation. So if anyone out there has C60 currently from another brand, use it and then don't buy any more until we find out if this is being done. That's just a warning for people out there because there's only so much C60 powder that people will have on hand for product, and that's the problem. You see, I had years and years that I purchased we're going back that the bulk of it I bought about 6 years ago when, like the doc says, it literally was a truckload. I say dump truck, but it was a big truck. You know, it was a big van, huge van, if you can imagine, where just kilo after kilo was put in. And then I had many kilos coming to the office. You know, literally.
Yeah, and back then, everybody, it was $35 a gram. What is it now?
Yeah.
It's $350 to $450 a gram. So how is anybody even making the quality of C60 that we are? And understand, when you're talking about a dump truck load, just know this, everybody. Well, how many years do you think you have of C60 at that price that you bought at the rate that we sell it?
Yeah, and the rate that I produce is for the government. They obviously buy so much that, you know, it goes, you know, even at a fast rate, you know, do I go through a kilo every 3 months? You know, it's going to take a long time. But, you know, have I broken even? Yeah, I finally broke even, but it only was maybe a year ago, and that, you know, so I was underwater for a long time now, and now it's great. But it took a long time. But, you know, now I could just sell it and you know, retire again. You know, I retired a long time ago. But, you know, at my age, I should never have been in that situation. But it did pay off. But, you know, I didn't really do it for myself, but I did. You know, I thought that I would do it, but I didn't want to, you know, it's sort of like purchasing gold. You know, you do it as a retirement sort of thing. You know, it's not really an investment. It's you know, if the world goes to hell in a handbasket, it's an insurance policy. And that's what C60 is. You can't really destroy it. It doesn't go bad as long as it's in a vacuum packed, you know, aluminum foil, nitrogen sealed package. It's never going to go bad. You can open it in 100 years, and it'll still be good. So, anyways, we're good. The doc and I are good for a long time, and if the doc keels over and he decides not to sell C60, that would be a bad thing. But you know,
that's never happening. That's never happening.
Because he's taking C60, and he's got a lovely wife, and he's got a family, and I'm sure they'd want to keep running the business.
The business will run. The business will be running forever without me. That's why we're creating Braveheart Nation around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know,
it's not a business. It's a movement.
You know, at least when you listen to us, we talk about reality. We're not just talking about pumping the product and go buy this for this reason, and you know, oh, this is a great product. It's gonna cure all ills. I think people now know that C60 is a fabulous product, and we do make the best, and most people now know why. We use the bell. We use frequencies of love to go through it, and it can. I don't want to use the cure word, so I'm not going to say it. I won't even mention the cure word. I wouldn't even dare use that word. But people are becoming better from all sorts of C's and V's, and they're getting better, and for some reason, they're living longer, just like the rat study that everyone knows about. So if you're going to live longer and you're going to live with a healthier body that we've been thrown into, then that's a good thing. You know, if you've lived a life of, you know, gluttony and eating terrible food, you now, as of this moment, have a reason to purchase C60 and reverse the mistakes that we all have made in life.
Yeah.
Perhaps you were a smoker.
It'll reverse It'll actually reverse things that they say aren't reversible. It'll reverse the irreversible. Do you get this? Everybody, I want to tell you something. Anybody that tells you that something can't be reversed, okay, they have limited knowledge. First of all, their faith in the invisible is not very good. Their belief in the human body is pretty shallow, okay? And they really don't know you well enough, do they? Even somebody who gets an expiry date from somebody who's supposed to know. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you know, when you get an expiry date like Mr. Jones, you've got 3 months to live. Well, they're telling you that a guy of your age, that's part of the majority of the way they think, drink, and eat, only will be around for 3 more months. What if you weren't anything that the majority does and you decided to bring your game up to the highest level? Well, there goes that one, isn't it? That's right out the door and down the drain. And we prove that every day because who do you reverse hypertension? Please, hypertension is mainly anxiety and stress. And you don't even know you're running a program like that because you think it's part of your personality. You probably don't drink enough water. It's not structured water. And I could keep going on, but all of this is reversible. Hypertension is not even a disease. It's a symptom of being out of alignment. That's it. But all I'm saying is this, lung hypertension. Well, lung hypertension is actually inflammation. And that's it. That's what that is. It's inflammation from infection. And then guess what? Now you're going to get mucus congestion, and now you're going to drown your alveoli with mucus, okay? All of this can be turned around. Go take a look at nebulizing infinite iodine and go to town on it like you're addicted, and then tell me you've got hypertension of the lungs, please. Or just give me a call at 469-861-8884, or call the 800 number on extension 5. I'm going to tell you the God's truth. And most of it's got nothing to do with products. It's got to do with you. It's got to do with your emotional and physical body that you're in charge of. But understand this. Nobody's ever going to give me a due date. How could they do it? I don't fit inside the box. You have to be part of the majority to know that that will probably be your due date. And also, if you're going to believe those guys that don't know what they're talking about, and you tell... and you make a really conscious decision and you tell 50 trillion cells and 500 trillion bacteria that you are going to die in 3 months, they're going to listen to you because you're the captain of the ship. So watch your mouth and watch your mind and know that when you go out there, it's a landmine, okay? All right? And these medical doctors are not doctors. And they have not been taught about the human body. They've been taught about death and working backwards. And if you think I'm putting them down, I'm not. Medical system should only be 1% of all health care, and that's emergency care, okay? You don't become the third leading cause of death in North America because you know what you're talking about. Think about that, and then go check it out. Miss my pizza, I'm in Florida. I'm not sure what that means. What do you think, Richard?
Well, obviously, I agree because of the example of my wife. Which I'll give one last time. How about that?
I don't think it should be one last time. I think people need to hear this because it's totally a mind-blowing story. And then I think that'll probably wrap it up. What do you think, Richard?
Yeah, that's great. Okay. In September, which is only a few months ago, my wife was not feeling well, and this went on. Now, I have to mention that she used C60 in really just one manner, and she has always had problems with her colon, but she was not, let's call it, a user of the C60. She was only used to having the olive oil. And she just went, I'm not into that, blah, 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 blah. Even though her husband was, she saw what it was doing for me, which is wonderful things. And she was reading, I showed her emails of all these people that were getting cured from, the cure word again, from all these different diseases and the like. But she just, I'm not into, well, I have to take spoonful of this and that twice a day. And she just didn't care, but she loved what the MCT oil did for her face. She has the face of a 40-year-old, and I'm not joking about that. She's a bit older than me, so I'm not going to mention her age. Just add 2 years to my 74, and you've got it. But I'm not going to say her age. And it's beautiful. She's got a beautiful face. Oh my God! And everyone remarks on how beautiful she looks. But anyway, she got sick, very sick. So I took her to the hospital, and she had lost a lot of weight. I could see it. I begged for her to see the doctor. The doctor looks at her, and we are talking within an hour of her being at the hospital. She was in a room, and they told her within 1 hour, okay, tests were done, she had cancer. Okay? Shortly after that, after more tests were done, it was stage 4 cancer. After a test was done going into her colon, they said that it had not only been in her colon, but it had spread to her bones, and it was terminal. Okay? And she didn't have long to live. Like, she was not going to be leaving that room. So, she obviously had, I shouldn't say obviously, but she had a desire now, well, give me this C60 stuff. And so all that I'll say is that she was taking a combination in the morning of the MCT and in the evening of the hemp. And it's a combination of the two, let's say that, for her entire stay, because that's what she had a desire for, not just the one, but of the two. So that's what we did. And she had an operation, and they removed quite a bit of all of the cancer that they could see. And after this operation, for another 2 to 3 weeks, she was just taking a tablespoon of each, or mixed even. You know what? We could even say that, of the two together. And after 3 weeks, she was back at home. They were just amazed. The cancer was gone. It was totally gone. They could no longer find it. So that is the story in a nutshell. I could go into more detail. However, that is it. So if you're going to tell anyone that that we are born with a little toe tag on our, foot or on toes saying that you are going to expire on this certain date and that this disease is going to kill you and nothing can help you, well, that's a lie. My wife now has put back all of the weight here, December the 14th, that she has lost, so she's back to the weight that I guess is what she should be at. And she still says, I should be losing 5 pounds, you know how some people are. And she's taking, though, this time, the MCT and the hemp oil each day. And she's down to 1 teaspoon of each a day. And she feels fabulous. She feels better than she ever did, only she did have a colon problem since she was born. And, it did get worse when she was about 35. And she did have something done, but she thought that it was gone. And it obviously wasn't gone, and it came back with a vengeance. And the only thing that we did, other than having her operation, she only started to get better when she started to take the C60. That was it. There was nothing else that should be done for her. Nothing at all. And do we feel blessed? Of course. She's she's a religious person. She prayed, and she prayed to God, not Satan. So that's a good thing. And the C60, and when this happens, I read about it, and I hear about it, people call me, but it's different when it's at least your wife. I was thinking, well, this is, this should do something, but your brain is scrambled, your life is upside down. The doc probably heard about it from some of the people that work for him, but I didn't want to, bother him with it. It's not something that, I didn't even want to tell many people, but obviously all the people that work with me, they know her and love her, and all of her friends, they were just, oh my God. Things were just incredibly difficult, but, my son was just a mess, and his wife and grandkids don't understand because they're not at the age where, someone might be dying. But the point is, the C60 did cure her. There's nothing else that could have done it, and now it's helping her to recover. And from what I can see, it's just, she's got a new lease on life, and there's nothing really more that I can ask for. And I have always known it to be true that this is how you can, it can turn around a death sentence. What can it do for the average person out there? And those are the people that are listening that say, oh, gee, well, is this going to help me? Is it not going to help me? Well, of course it's going to. You have a bad diet, you're eating donuts and sugary product. Well, you can go on and do that. It's a terrible thing for me to say, but have your C60 balance out your life at least with one thing. If you're going to be smoking, well, look at the rat study. These rats were bombarded with, x-rays, and they still lived. They were trying to kill these rats. Well, humans are much more capable of getting healed. We're being bombarded now with chemtrails. The food is poisoned. Air is poisoned. We need something. And this is something that, can sort of counteract all of the evil that they're trying to do to us to kill us. But they haven't taken it off the market, and they sort of are in China by, removing the power to some of the places. What percentage? Probably 70, 80%, if not more, 90% of the C60 that's being made. That's being sold in North America. But Europe isn't being affected because they're getting it from Russia. And so who do they want to kill? They want to kill North Americans. And that's us. Most of the people that are listening right now. And so, stick with the doc and you'll be okay. Because I'm not giving up on him. I don't like, as he knows, talking. I don't like doing interviews. But I do them for him because I like the guy. I love the guy. He's a good man. And I trust him. And you should trust him too. And that's all I have to say.
Well, thank you, Richard. And everybody will be getting Richard to come back on in the new year because for a guy who doesn't want to talk, you can tell he comes from his heart, and that's the most important thing. We don't need a talker. We need a walker. Okay, we need a walker that talks from the heart, not from the head, not from the pocketbook. Okay, and some of you will say, well, C60 is expensive. Not what it gives you, it isn't. No. Do you know what? I'm going to tell you something, whether you want to believe this or not. 90% of all the supplements in a health food store aren't worth the bottle they're in. And if you want, I can prove it, but I don't want to do that because I don't want to make health food stores think I'm trying to attack them. That's the last thing we want. We don't want to hurt people's businesses either. But the reality is you get what you pay for. And a lot of times you don't get what you pay for. Sometimes you get more than you pay for, and it's not good, eh, Richard?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so. Well, Richard, what would you like to tell everyone before you leave?
Before I die, before I leave this planet?
No.
I would like to tell people to read the free PDF that you're going to be able to receive, because I'm looking forward to reading it. 40 years of the doc's life. That's something that I didn't hear about it until today. And I think it's going to be really exciting. And if you have a chance, make the doc happy and me happy and purchase some C60. And it's not for the money. It's to get yourself right with the world. How's that? Because it's going to enable you to get healthy. And if you're healthy, your family's going to see you healthy. And if you love yourself, then, show it to yourself. That's it.
Well, thank you, Richard. And God bless you, my friend. And thanks for coming on, okay?
Okay, no problem.
Be well.
And okay. Take care.
Take care, my dear friend.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. There you go. What a great guy, eh? When I first met him, and he knows this, I thought he was a little over the top, You know how some people are about their products, right? He was very emotional about the way he made his product. We didn't talk about it much today, but he gets these, it looks like an upside down bell. It's made out of pure glass. And it holds 250 quarts. And then he has a special way of mixing that there's like a tornado from the very top to the bottom of this upside down bell made out of glass. And this tornado stays there, and it's like for 3 weeks, and it's done in the dark. And then during that time, he's got a $10,000 pair of headphones that bring in the most powerful love vibration in and into the glass, and that vibrates the glass. And then the quality of the product we use. It's either pure and the highest grade MCT oil or the best hemp oil in the world. And then where he gets his C60 from. And believe it or not, the hemp oil's on sale, not the C60, but our MCT oil, it has a purple color to it. It's a beautiful purple. And there's companies out there, and you'll see it. Just look at they have to put the ingredient on there. And they use palm oil to make theirs go purple because they do the shortcut, and their C60 isn't the quality. And even with the hemp oil, I don't even know anybody who does hemp oil, but our hemp oil, if you buy hemp oil, 99% of it has a brown color and maybe a light tinge of green. Ours is green. It's a green hemp oil. It's the finest hemp oil in the world. You're not going to get high, but you are going to find peace. You're going to sleep better. You're going to be calmer. And like I said, it goes in and it neutralizes the B, because it's the opposite of the graphene in the B. The graphene in the C60, it's all about the messages coming in. Remember that. There's nothing wrong with a person's brain. There's something wrong with the thoughts they have, or there's something right. You have sick thoughts, or you have healthy thoughts, you have poverty consciousness, or you have this thing that that you can be rich, and you will end up that way. Your thoughts make and shape things. The invisible creates the physical. You know that. So everything is about light, and everything is about frequency, and everything is about energy. Oh, I so have bought into this. Once you buy into your spirit, and you know you have to feed your spirit with a slight smile on your face throughout your day, your shoulders back, no matter what the attack is in the world, you don't care. You love yourself unconditionally, and you give that to the world as much as you can. And the things that you just are not at peace with, you walk away from them and focus on what you love. I just want to say this before I go. And that's this. They have so outsmarted us, haven't they? We couldn't even come together and strategize a perfect day. Oh, I have. This isn't a pitch. I want to say something at the end. But look, if you go after today, if you go to PDG, that's perfectdayguidefree.com, PDGfree.com, you'll get this in a PDF. It'll be under your tree. Otherwise, it'll be in your email. Midnight, Christmas Eve. Do me a favor, okay? Text me. Tell me what you think. My phone number is 469-861-8884. Text me and tell me if it changed your life. Tell me if you say you wasted your time. Tell me, go, oh my God, you blew me away in the first chapter. Tell me that, wow, I've never read a guide that was about loving, caring me, and I could take action right away, and I didn't have to spend thousands of dollars, and there was just so much in this thing that, wow. Tell me that you don't think that it's so beautifully done, the graphics, and it really brings the message across. If you leave your, for Facebook anyways, I don't know how to do the rest of this stuff. I really am just trying to get through this. But if you leave me your email on Facebook, I will give it to Cynthia, and then you'll actually be put right into it. If you go in and join my library, I promise you I'm not going to hound you. I'm not going to hound you. It'll never happen. You know, I'll give you life-changing, life-saving information. I'll let you know when the sales are on. But basically, anything else, I'm not going to hound you at all. I'm not going to come near you, okay? I know you've got enough, okay? You know what I'm doing? I just bought a phone that's going to be separate, and I'm going to be putting different groups on there. I don't know if you have WhatsApp, but you know what? We're going to actually text people because either the email blocks us, I never got it, or they get the information too late. I'm going to let you know when I come on and, hey, this is Dr. Wolf. I'm coming on in 10 minutes. I'm going to do a live Q&A. I'll be here for an hour and a half. I'm going to answer any questions that you have when you come on, and you'll be able to call this phone number live if you want to talk to me. I'm starting that in the new year, okay? So I'm going to have different WhatsApp groups. If you don't like WhatsApp, I don't know what else I can do. You know, the reality is where you can text people and give them information. It's too much money. I can't afford it. It's like insanity. But with WhatsApp, I can create like even 20 different groups. It'll hold up to 1,000 people in each group. And I can go, hey, non-surgical people. Hey, emotional coach people. Hey, those people who want to come on for a live Q&A. I'll be here for an hour and a half because I don't know my schedule sometime. I just got so much going on. I'm writing, I'm shooting, I'm doing this, I love it all. But, you know, people go, could you be a little bit more? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start this. And so I promise I won't hassle you. Or you can just block my phone number. Or you can just tell us to get rid of your email. I'm never going to hound you. I swear to God. I don't have a desire for that much money. I don't. But I have a desire to make money to be able to do things like this, okay? I have a desire to make money to finish paying off my Braveheart Nation app, which will be on everybody's phone, and 95% of it is totally free. It's just free. And I'm going to have some of the most powerful people that are smarter than me in different aspects of health, and they'll come on and they'll give you a 15-minute each week show to try to help to support your life. And I hope to get every nationality, every language, and everything in the aspect of healing. I may not be into it, okay, from this to this to this, but it doesn't matter. You know what? I'm telling you that I don't want to put on my app what I'm into. I want to put what I want to put on my app, what all my Braveheart family, which is everybody in the world, what they're into. You know, there's different religions, there's different languages, there's different rituals, there's different sports, there's different everything, there's different exercises for different people, there's different blood groups, there's different everything. I want to have everything on here because life should be this beautiful menu where you don't have to just pick what I give you or what I'm into. I'm teaching what I like, okay? Now I got to get people from all over the world what they like, okay? You know, if I believe in unconditional love, then I must bring on every religion with every different thing that is teaching unconditional love and care for their people. I need to bring everybody together. I mean, that's the way it is. I mean, these psycho tyrants don't even like each other, but they come together, at least strategize and hog tie 8 billion. So, you know, we got to do the same thing. We got to come together somehow, okay? Somehow we have to do it, somehow. And we're going to do it. And you know why? Just go to bed. Before you go to bed at night, get yourself a belly button therapy kit. Go read about it. It's mind-blowing. It delivers more dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins than anything else on the planet. And while you're doing your belly button therapy, do 10, 15 minutes of gratefulness. Everything that you are so grateful for, even the things that you don't already have, because put it out there to the great source of everything. And say, if you can't bring me this, just bring me something better because you can shop better than I can. Okay? All right? I do it all the time. There's so many things that I think I really need or I want, and I don't get them, and then I understand why. Be patient with yourself. Love yourself. Care for yourself so that you pass that on. No, it's not PDG book. It's a Perfect Day Guide, so it's PDG free. Don't you want it free? PDGfree.com. I try to make it rhyme. PDGfree.com. It won't be done until 6 o'clock tonight. You'll go in on the page. Listen to me. You'll go in on the page. Only leave your email if you want. I'll never bastardize it. I promise you. And if I do, call me and say, I don't really like what you're doing. Can you stop it? Okay, because I will. I don't know what that would be, though. But if you want to leave your name, that's nice. We're not going to do anything with it. And if you leave your phone number, we will put you into a WhatsApp group. So we would put you into the WhatsApp group, the general one, which is people who bought the Perfect Day Guide. And then I will come on and I will go on the WhatsApp group and go, hey, did you know this? See, things change all the time. I had the Yucca app, okay, and I was using that, and I even put that in my Perfect Day. And that Perfect Day Guide I've only given that to people over the last 20 years that actually got a consult. Well, that's over. We can't do that. We just give it to everyone because what the hell are you doing, Daryl? What's wrong with you if you're unconditional? So if you give me your phone number, you'll go into that group and I'll go, hey, you know what? The Yucca app has been contaminated. I can tell that someone else took over it. Okay, so now we're going to go in there and I'm changing it in the Perfect Day. And I'm going to give you 4 choices that I think are the best choices for apps that you can scan any food you buy. Okay, and then I want you to go and make your own choice. But, you know, the reality is just like everything else. As soon as something gets really popular, like if somebody came to me and say, Dr. Wolf, we want to buy Doc of Detox in Braveheart Nation, and we'll give you $1 billion. And I go, it's never for sale. This is my life. This is my passion. This is my purpose. I will never, ever make it toxic. If you ever see something toxic or you see something where it looks like I'm trying to pull some kind of scam, I'm not. I have people working for me. They don't pull scams. But if something is coming off like it's kind of skeevy, okay, just know this. I want it to stop. You call me and go, Daryl, what? Go take a look at that. What's the vibe coming off of that? And I'll go, whoa, okay, all right. I'll lovingly call up whoever, okay? I tried the Bobby approved app, BOBBY. Okay, I'll tell Nat that. He's checking them out right now. Thank you so much, Clarissa. Now, if I see something and I know who did it, I'm going to go, hey, go take a look at that. What's the vibe coming off of that? Because understand something, everybody. Protect your vibration. When you walk into a room or when you go to do something, okay, it's more than a gut feeling. It's your instinct, okay? It's your instinct. And always find quiet time. You know, whatever you call it, contemplation, meditation, prayer. Find quiet time. I like to call it the power hour in the morning and the power hour at night. You know, how you start your day is really important. I told you how to do that. How to end it, do the same thing. 10 to 15 minutes, belly button therapy, laying in bed, slight smile on my face, connected to the lion heart breathing, 6 seconds in, 7 seconds out. Okay, got it? And just do your belly button therapy. And we get the brochure. We show you all the directions to do it in. You're just going to really help to heal your tummy because 85% of your energy is created by your core and it's also stored there. And you'll also have better bowel movements, okay? Won't fart so much, won't have so much pain or bloating. You'll just feel better all the way around. Won't have so much low back pain after you do this. And belly button therapy, if you do it just easily and you bring your temperature up by 1 degree, it neutralizes viruses. That's actually a science fact. And if you go a little bit more aggressive, you bring it up 2 degrees, it'll actually knock out cancer cells. Isn't that amazing? Go do your research. Don't believe me. Do third-party research. But understand this, okay? Love the body you're in. Stop talking about what you don't like about your body. Start focusing on what you want in your body. And then go with the flow. And if you find that I'm telling you something and there's something better out there, we need your help. We just need your help, okay? And just my numbers, like, you know, it's not hard to find. You can call the office and go, what's Daryl's number? And you can call me Daryl. Don't call me doctor. Call me doctor if you have to. You know, a lot of people down here call me sir, which I don't really care for, but it's hard to break them of it. Or boss. Oh my gosh, this is in Mexico, you know. This is my first primary home now, and secondary will be, of course, United States. But the reality is that it's just too lovely down here, too peaceful, and too healthy compared to anywhere else that I've ever been in the world. And I travel a lot. I'll start my 10-month, I got a 10-month tour I'm doing. I'm starting here. Notice how I went like this? No. And we start off in Ixtapa. It'll be at the Cala del Mar in Ixtapa. It's a 4-diamond resort. And it's going to be a very small class because we did it at the first of the year. And I really didn't want to bombard myself. Right now, I only have, I'm being honest with you, 4 people in my course. I usually have in the Whole Life Coach course, 20 to 24. There's only 4. If you want to come to a course and get a lot of attention, starts January 8th. It's a Whole Life Coach course. Check it out at braveheartnation.com. Sage only has 5 people in the Wolf Non-Surgical. He usually has anywhere from 20 to 30. So this is an opportunity for you if you want. That's a 12-day course. And then the pelvic course only has 3 people. So we're not going to cancel. Okay, so you need to understand, I'm not going to cancel. We go through, we don't cancel. I will not cancel. All right, we go through and do it. If we break even, we break even, you know, and that's it. If you break even, you break even. I mean, consider, you know, the fact that, you know, you got to keep up what you're doing, and that's life. You know, you're up some days, you're down some days, but just keep moving forward. And then we'll have we have the Braveheart Circle course, and that'll be done by Dr. Sage, Wolf, and Lorraine. That's 4 days. I think there's like 6 people in that. And then in the pelvic course, like I said, there's only 3. But the course will go on. And if you've always wanted a lot of attention, here it comes. And you will not take a better course. I think Joe Dispenza is amazing. I think Tony Robbins is amazing. There's a lot of amazing. But there's nothing that goes as deep as my course in 9 days. And I'll prove it to you. If you've been to those courses, they're not better. Mine's just different. Okay? There's no better. There's just different. And mine's different in the way that we get practitioners here, from nurses to doctors to chiropractors to psychiatrists to accountants to lumberjacks to people just out of school to mothers to fathers. I mean, 40% of the people in there just come because they go, I can't take it anymore. Okay? I will promise you by the 3rd day, you're going to go, holy crap, I didn't come here for me. I came to have a successful business. I didn't come here. I came for my family. I didn't come here for me. Wow. And everybody goes, holy crap. I came here for me. Because you got to become what you want others to become. You got to become what you want to actually train and treat people as. Okay? Until you are something, you can't give something. You can fake it, but it's a really half-assed job. I am what I teach. And nobody can say that differently. How I teach is my life, and how my life is I teach. And it's all about unconditional love, and it's all about respect and protecting yourself and caring for yourself. And it's not selfish. When somebody says that you're selfish, all they're saying is, hey, what are you doing? You are living my life. Whose life are you living now? Well, I'm going to live mine. Is that okay with you? Well, it's not going to be if you were catering to people because you needed love so desperately and you wouldn't give it to yourself. You will kiss everybody's you know what. And then when you stop kissing it, they like that, okay? You just need to tell them, no, I no longer can bend over and kiss it because now I'm doing a self-love job on myself, okay? It doesn't mean I love you less. I'm going to be able to love you more and care for you more because I've never known how to love and care for myself. And it's really the bottom line. Most people can't get it. It's so simple. It's too deep. It's way over their heads, between their legs, but not between their ears. That's for God's sake, sure. But the reality is there is no course like mine. And I can sit here and say it. I've been doing this course since I was 27 years old. Man, I taught this course 10 times this year. 10 whole life coach courses, even if I'm as dumb as a stump. You know, after almost 40 years of doing it, you know, there's got to be hope here somewhere. Oh, there's more than hope. It's called faith. And when you start to learn how to love and care for yourself and let yourself totally off the hook and know that suffering is not the way to the Lord, suffering is not the way to get well, suffering is not how you show your love for your family. You think about that. 3, 2, 1. I know you got this. Everybody have a beautiful day. And we'll see you again. I might come on and do a one a day, but I've been on here for quite a while. I have another lady coming on, and she's got breast cancer, stage 4 inflammation, and she's going to be calling me from New Zealand. And I'll be coming back on here this afternoon, so I think that's more than enough of me. What do you think? Yeah, I know. I got it. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Unconditional love.